So let's go ahead and move on quickly.
Weekly Rewind.
Oh, man. Well, here we are.
I was very confused.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I moved on like it was no big deal. All right, so the big news is not news yet, but, I mean, there are teams that are potentially going to sit guys down. We have a lot of people. We're congratulating owners, but there are several owners. I don't know what the percentage is, but a lot of leagues play into Week 17. We know that. And so we're still here. That's why we're here 5 days a week this week to talk about Week 17.
4.
5 shows.
Is there 5 shows?
Yeah.
Oof. All right.
I think there is. Am I wrong?
Well, I believe New Year's Day there will not be a live show.
Oh, because we're doing a longer one on the day before. Okay.
Yeah.
I apologize. 4 shows. But we're getting you ready for Week 17 nonetheless.
Absolutely.
And you have your title game in Week 17. So the big story there is, and why so many leagues don't play to Week 17 is because teams sit their guys. Now, there have been some very good breaks for those owners of players in those leagues. One being the fact that the Patriots and the Panthers both lost, making Week 17 extremely relevant to them because they have to win their games to secure home field throughout the playoffs. Otherwise, the Cardinals or I guess the Bengals-Broncos could take that spot away.
If the Bengals lose tonight, will the Patriots secure the 1 seed?
No, because the Broncos are still in the mix.
Yeah, it's actually a great week. We can't stand Week 17 playoffs from a league format because you end up with these great guys who disappoint
or
in the
play
most
half a
time.
game. Yeah,
yeah, and that's never fun. But this is actually a better year for it. There's not that many great teams that have locked. You want to know who can sit their starters?
Yeah.
The Washington Redskins.
Yeah,
you're good. You can sit your guys down for health. I don't imagine that they would do that. It would almost be embarrassing.
It's true though. They can. The Packers and Minnesota Vikings game for next Sunday has actually been flexed to Sunday Night Football and is for the division title. So that game is now extremely relevant for fantasy owners because those players should be out there playing. I know that the Vikings, the first thing you heard from them after this big win this week was, we haven't beat the Packers. You know,
well,
you ask us if we're having a good year. We haven't beat the Packers. We haven't won the division.
I think the situation that will most likely happen is that the winner of that game is going to, the next week, host that game again.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're talking about an incredibly important Sunday Night Football game.
Exactly. So we will listen to the reports, listen to the coaches, relay that information to you so you're prepared for your fantasy championship game if you're playing in Week 17. A little bit of news on the injury front. Matt Hasselbeck forcefully retired by the opponent.
I tried to warn him.
I listened to that part of the show, and you pleaded for the human being of Matt Hasselbeck to be given a break.
He seems like a good guy.
You know he's playing next week. My news is this, that Charlie Whitehurst will likely start, but Matt Hasselbeck will somehow start that game because they're still in it.
Not like this. Not like this.
Well, and there was a point in the game where Charlie Whitehurst got knocked out. So you're talking about 3 quarterbacks who got knocked out.
I got a phone call.
For the a phone call to see if you're ready?
Yeah,
for
I got a phone call from Indianapolis.
But here, my point was, when you're drafting Philip Dorsett in the first round, maybe, just maybe, there's a problem with your offensive line in Indianapolis where all of your quarterbacks are dying. Just saying.
That's an issue.
General manager.
Well, they don't have like a really important quarterback to protect.
Well, no, they have about 4 that they can't protect. All right. Matt Forte was seen stretching out on the sidelines by trainers, didn't come back into the game. We don't know if he's significantly injured or not, but we'll see what happens next week. It could mean bigger things for Langford in terms of carry totals and, more importantly,
more touchdowns for Kadeem Carey.
Yeah, I mean, he's just let the hate mail begin for Kadeem Carey. Or let's just be honest. That needs to be filtered straight to John Fox. But if you're a Matt Forte owner, that was trouble for you. And then Ted Ginn had a very disappointing game. He went off the field, grabbed his leg briefly. He did come back into the game, but he didn't make an impact. We don't know how much that impacted his performance on the field yesterday, but obviously that team struggled mightily in what was Cam Newton's worst performance of the season. and they lost. And now they are fighting for that home field throughout the playoffs with the Arizona Cardinals, depending on what happens next week. I believe Carolina plays Tampa.
Yes.
And the Cardinals play the Seahawks.
And Carolina is at home, I believe.
Okay. And the Cardinals are at home as well.
Yep. And they will both be both games are in the afternoon. They have moved Carolina to the afternoon for the situation of both teams have to play without knowing if the other team has already won or lost.
Very smart.